Good morning. This is May the 27th, Monday, 2024, and we are in BBA second semester, section B, compulsory English class, where we have a presenter, and she is writing her points on the board. And in a while, when she finishes writing on the board, she'll explain. As she writes the points on the board, you note them down. As she writes the points on the board, you note the points down. Okay, explain.
The fifth paragraph explains self-esteem in the context based
Wait a minute, Selena. Let me give this mic. Clear recording.
The
So
fifth
listen to
paragraph,
carefully.
The fifth paragraph explains self-esteem. Self-esteem in this context is based on self-control required to maintain harmonious relationship. Self-esteem is required to maintain harmonious relationship between two or more people living together. Culture.
Wait a minute. What is self-esteem? Try to explain. I'll help you. Don't worry. What is self-esteem? Can you explain? Esteem means respect. Self means oneself. So self-esteem means thinking positive about yourself. Thinking positive about yourself. If you think I'm bad, I'm weak, I'm poor, I can't perform, you can't perform. But if you think I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm proud of myself, I can do it, I'm not less than other people, I'm not weaker than people, I'm better than people, you can do better. So believing that you are excellent, believing that you are fine, believing that you are good, believing that you have high morale, that is called self-esteem. What is self-control? Yeah, controlling oneself. Okay, one important thing about self-control is recognizing your emotional state. Suppose you are making a presentation and you have the new audience, new place, new topic, large audience, and you lose confidence and you become nervous during presentation. Now what is self-control? You become quite aware that I'm losing my confidence, and then you compose yourself, take a long breath and try not to lose confidence, and you control your nervousness, you have good eye contact, make a smiling face, and you stop. So what self-control is? Understanding, being quite aware about how you are. If I'm angry, I should realize, oh, I'm losing my temper. I shouldn't. Then I take water and I get calm, cool. Self-control is recognizing your emotional, physical state and controlling it. Yes.
The essayist also explains cultural variability in independent and interdependent self-understanding.
Okay, you said three words you said. You use the word cultural variability, then you use the word independent self, then you use the word interdependent self. Can you please explain what do you understand by cultural variability? Okay, variability means dissimilarity, not being similar, not being same. And cultural variability means the perspective that different cultures are different. They act differently, they behave differently. If I am a Nepali and if I am talking to a Chinese counterpart, I should know that my counterpart has a different culture. So I should understand how they talk, how they walk, how they eat, how they drink, how they respond. If I better understand how Chinese people behave, I will be able to talk more successfully. And you read earlier that according to cultural variability, the world cultures can be in two categories, like a continuum. One was individualist cultures and the other was collectivist culture. Individualist cultures are low contact cultures, where two people talking do not come closer. Collectivist cultures are those where they have high contact cultures, where people come closer when they talk. Semi is yarning, right? and I'm saying this because it's summer, I know it's summer season, and I understand how difficult it is to sit and listen there. In the other class also two people were yarning and we were presenting. But as presenter, when you yarn, we feel bad. We reflect, maybe our presentation is boring, maybe our presentation is not good to make you interested, but we expect that you show your interest also as we listen to you. So, and you said independent self and interdependent self. Can you explain the concept of independent self? What is that? Okay, good explanation. For example, American people have independent self. American people do not like to rely upon other people. Whereas Nepalese people have interdependent self. We depend on other people, right? Yes, go on.
Independent and interdependent self-understanding shapes our experience and communication actions.
Read that point again. Read that point again.
Independent and interdependent self-understanding shapes our experience and communicative actions.
Go on.
And independent self-understanding leads to communicative actions that are self-focused, ego-based, and self-expressive.
Wait. If you have independent self, then your communication focuses on the self. So, if you are an American, for example, and you are communicating, you will give priority to yourself, right? Because as an American, you have the perception that myself is independent, not interdependent. But if you have interdependent self, you will give more focus on the audience, more focus on the listener, the hearer, and you will have a proper understanding of the person you're talking to. So what do you think? Independent self is better or interdependent self is better? Okay, you think interdependent self is better because it not only takes care of himself, but it also takes care of the other person. Go on.
The value placed on one's self-idea influences how we perceive and evaluate others' behavior, especially...
Read that sentence once again slowly.
The value placed on one's self-idea influences how we perceive and evaluate others' behavior, especially in conflict.
What did she say? Suppose you have conflict. In the other class, a student was using mobile phone to photograph the slides, and I felt that she is not paying attention to the presentation, and I seized the mobile phone, it's here. Now, she made a lot of requests to give it back, and I said, no, I won't give it back unless you do a very difficult assignment. Now this is conflict. This is conflict. We were together and we had disagreement. We were together, we had disagreement. Now, read that one again.
The value based on one's self-idea influences how we perceive and evaluate others' behavior.
Okay, the point is, the way you look at yourself determines how you look at other people. For example, as a teacher, I believe that in a classroom, we should maintain high level of discipline. We should maintain a high level of discipline. So my perception is that I should be disciplined. As a teacher, I should be disciplined. When I say I should be disciplined, I expect the student also to be disciplined. And when I see that she is not disciplined, I take instant action. So how you look at yourself determines how you look at other people. If you are careless, you will think others are also careless. If you are careful, you will think others also should be careful. Wait a minute. तिमीलाई निद्रा लागिरहेको छ, तिमी बाहिर जाऊ, एकचोटि सबै घुमेर आऊ, र मुख लिएर आऊ, पानी खाएर फ्रेस भएर क्लासमा सुतेर त भएन नि त, हैन? क्लास राम्रो गर्ने निधार भने उसलाई बिचरा निद्रा लागिरहेको छ, उसलाई रिसाएर गयो क्या हो, रिसाएर गयो, गाली गर्दै गयो, उसले मैले गाली पनि गर्न सक्छ। मैले त देखिरहेको छु, बिचरा निदाइरहेको छ, झुकझुक भइरहेछ, हैन? अब होला हाम्रो प्रेजेन्टेसनले पनि निद्रा लागेको हुनसक्छ, आई डोन्ट नो। तर अर्ली मर्निङ कलेज आउँदाखेरि हामी हेल्दी भएर, फिट एन्ड फाइन भएर, हैन? अब वासरुम गएर, सरसफाइ गरेर, हाइजेनिक भएर, केही कुरा खानेकुरा खाएर, हैन? फुडहरू खाएर हामीले र क्लासमा बस्दाखेरि फिजिकल्ली, इमोसनली तयारी भएर बस्ने के। मैले भन्दा तपाईँलाई पिर लाग्ला, तर म फ्र्याङ्क छु, किन हामी पनि त क्लासमा आउँदाखेरि चिटिक्क परेर आउँछौँ, होइन? पानी पिएर आउँछौँ, बेलुका भिजाएको एल्मन्ड खाएर आएको, अहिले किन इनर्जी होला, होइन? लेजिनेस नहोला भनेर हो। तपाईँ क्लासमा चाहिँ निराश गरेर पढाउँदाखेरि, हाई गरेर छु पढाउँदाखेरि, तपाईँ किन गर्नु? So त्यही के point, what she was saying, as an actor, as a speaker, I believe that we should be energetic, we should be active, we should be ready and fresh. And I saw somebody lazy and I inquired. So we make perception about other people based on our own perception. So my perception is we should not be lazy. So I saw somebody lazy, I objected. So, move around. Right? Go on.
Whereas an interdependent self-understanding uses group norms, interests, and responsibilities to interpret and evaluate other.
Read that point again. Listen, class, listen to her. Read that point again.
Whereas an interdependent self-understanding uses group norms, interests.
Okay, group norms.
Group interest.
And
group responsibilities.
Okay, group norm, group interest, group responsibility. I repeat, interdependent self uses group norm, group responsibility and group interest. What does it mean? If I believe that myself depends on other, then I will give priority to the group. I will show responsibility to the group, and I will show an interest in the group. Earlier, when I objected that student and said, you are feeling sleepy, go to the washroom and wash your face, drink water and come. What happened? Look, I took attention to the other, to the group. If I believe in independent self, I will say, so do you see, we presenters, we don't have independent self, we have interdependent self. Because we act according to other people's behavior also. She was feeling sleepy, I objected. So do I have independent self-perception or interdependent self-perception? I show interdependent self-perception because I attend to the group's requirement, group's needs, group's interest. Go on.
To interpret and evaluate others' behavior, especially in conflict. In conclusion, understanding the individualism, collectivism dimension helps to explain cultural difference and preferred conflict negotiation approaches.
Two things, she said. If you understand the individualist dimension of culture and the collectivist dimension of culture, what benefit does it have? If you have a conflict with the other person, if you have difference of opinion with your audience, and if you understand that that gentleman does not agree with me, not because he hates me, but because he comes from a different culture, and in his culture this thing is done differently, then you won't be angry and you will try to change yourself according to his requirement, rather than forcing him to behave according to your requirement. So understanding the individualist dimension and collectivist dimension helps you manage conflicts effectively, because when somebody disagrees with you, you properly understand that they do not agree with me, not because they don't like me, but because in their culture they have a different perception. So rather than forcing them to follow my ways, I should adopt and adjust to their ways. Remember, in business communication, your client is first, you are second. In business communication, your customer is always right. Your customer is always right. And if your customer belongs to another culture, you should learn about their culture and you should have business dealing following their cultural norms. You should not force them to follow your cultural norms. अहिले मैले तपाईलाई पढाउँदा के भइरहेछ, मलाई हामीले उसले पोइन्ट भनिरहेछ, रिपिट गरिरहेछ, मैले बिस्तारै एक्सप्लेन गरिरहेको छु र मलाई इम्प्रेसन के भइरहेछ, क्लासमा थुप्रैजनाले सुनिरहेको भएको छैन। तपाईँ फिजिकली क्लासमा हुनुहुन्छ, तपाईँ मेन्टली हुनुहुन्न, तपाईँलाई कम्फर्टेबल भइरहेको छैन, तपाईँलाई के कारणले आज गर्मीले हो कि बिहान राति नसुतेर के थाहा छैन, तर तपाईँ क्लासमा धेरैजना चाहिँ तपाईँले ध्यान दिएको मलाई फिल भइरहेको छैन। एकजना त निधाएर मैले बाहिरै पठाइसकेँ होइन, एकजना मैले बाहिरै पठाएँ निधाएर, अरू मैले वाच गरिरहेको छु, मैले फेसमा हेरिरहेको छु होइन, तपाईँमा केही विद्यार्थीमा चाहिँ इन्ट्रेस्ट मैले देखिरहेको छ, अब के ल्यायो मलाई थाहा छैन, तर ख्याल गर्नुहोस्, प्रेजेन्टरले प्रेजेन्ट गर्दा, टिचरले एक्सप्लेन गर्दाखेरि एउटा कुरा चाहिन्छ, when we speak, you should listen to us. When you speak, we should listen to you. When one party speaks, the other party has to listen. Right? It's a presentation where we have a presenter, she is reading points, I am helping her to explain the points. We are talking, and when we talk, you listen, when you talk, we listen. Go on. Okay, we have done. Give her a big hand. Okay, let me open the text before I move ahead. Who was given to present on the next topic? Okay, you're ready, right? Okay, come. Do you want to write something on the board? Okay, first you write, then we will talk to the class. Okay, write on the board. You need a marker? There is a marker, I guess. So while she writes on the board, you copy what she is writing in the board. While she writes on the board, you copy what she is writing in the board. Now, as a presenter, we expect that we have read the text is presenting. Now, if you have not read, तपाईले पढाउनु भएको छैन त्यो हिस्सा भने तपाई क्लासमा सुत्नुहुन्छ, बिदाउनुहुन्छ, घरबाट बाहिर हेर्नुहुन्छ, साथीलाई हेर्नुहुन्छ, गफ गर्नुहुन्छ, सुन्नुहुन्छ। किनभने तपाईले पढ्नु भएको छैन, कुनै बेला नबुझ्न सक्नुहुन्छ। तपाईले पनि पढ्न आउनुपर्ने दायित्व हो। प्रेजेन्टरले टिचरले मात्रै पढ्नु हुँदैन, तपाईले पनि पढ्नुपर्छ। तपाई नपढिकन आएर एउटा हात ताली बच्छ, एउटा हात ताली यसरी बच्छ, रोटी एकले सेकेन्ड रोटी पाक्छ। तपाईको दायित्व तपाईले गर्नु पर्यो नि त। यो पढ्नु भनेर प्रेजेन्टरलाई पढ्न लगाएर उनीहरुले पढ्छ बिचारा तयार गर्नु पर्ने हुन्छ। तपाईले पनि आएर हुन्छ त अनि इमानदारी पर्छ। पढ्नु भएको छ? यो राइट I honor your honesty. Yes, मोबाइल नगर्नुस्, तपाईले गर्नुस्। पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? इमानदार हुने है छैन। पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? अहिले पनि पढ्नु, पक्काले पढ्नु। पढ्नु भएको छ? सेक्सन पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? पढ्नु भएको छ? हेर्नुस्, हामी इमानदार हुनुपर्छ। हेर्नुस् है, म तपाईसँग गाली सक्नुहोस् ल, हामी इमानदार हुनुपर्छ। लगभग मैले जब सोधेँ 100% पढाएँ। अब के हुन्छ, कुनै कुनै गर्दाखेरि कुनै विद्यार्थी हो, ऊ प्रोफेसर त होइन। अब तपाईँले पनि पढाउनु भयो भने तपाईँले क्याच गर्नु के भन्नु खोजेको छ? पढ्दैन पढ्दैन कसरी हुन्छ? मलाई खुसी के लाग्यो, तपाईँ ढाक्नु भयो, त्यो भन्नु, त्यो मलाई खुसी लाग्यो। पढ्नु भएको छ? अब आउने सेक्सन पढ्नु भएको छ? तपाईँले अब आउने सेक्सन पढ्नु भएको छ? I asked the whole class and nobody said, for 2 people said they have read. Okay. You remember last time you read this essay in first semester, When We Stand, Alicia Davis, where she talks about low context and high context. It is about the same low context. Come in. Are you okay now? Come this side. Come this side. Are you fine? Can you kindly share very frankly what made you lazy? What happened? Can you share why you if it is possible to share? Math assignment. Oh God. Math is because what you should manage, you should do it different. You are busy doing what? Personal. As a student, when you do personal work in daytime, and you do assignment at night, next class, the professor is there, he says, there are, so manage your time properly, right? Then you will be fine. Are you happy? Please understand that in my class, whatever is going on, it's being documented. Okay? For example, the conversation I have with her, I will document it. Because it tells about education. It tells about problems they have. It tells about them. So please understand once again, my class is fully documented, recorded, so be very cautious, okay? foot down while she's riding over there. Okay. So you will explain, right? Okay, fine. Wait a minute. I should give you these clips. You can use this. The version will clear. So first of all, introduce the topic you're talking about. What is the topic you're given?
Low context and high context.
Low context and high context communication. Low context and high context communication. And context means the speaker, the hearer, the time, the place, and the environment. Right now in this classroom, we are the speakers, you are the hearer, this is the time, this is the place, Elysium, and some are the environment. So this is the context. Academic context, a classroom context, educational context. Okay, go on.
In the text, according to Edward T. Hollis, human transaction or communication is divided into two communication groups, that is high context communication and low context communication.
Okay, class. So Edward Hall divides human communication into how many groups? Two. What are they? High context communication and low context communication. Go on.
Whereas high context communication is known as high context communication belongs to the collectivistic culture.
Okay, she says high context communication belongs to what culture? Collectivist culture. And collectivist culture means where people care more about the other. Care more about the other. Listen to other. Where they come closer. Where they are in a group. They have interest to the group. They respond to the group. They show responsibility to the group. That is called collectivist culture. And collectivist culture has low context communication or high context? High context communication, yes.
Whereas low context communication is also known as individualistic culture.
Okay, low context communication is also known as what?
Individualistic.
What did she say? Individualist communication, where the person or the speaker gives more importance to himself or herself. Okay, go on.
In the high context communication, much of the information is pre-programmed in the receiver and the setting.
Read that sentence slowly again.
In high context communication, much of the information is pre-programmed in the receiver and setting with minimal information in the transmitted message.
Okay, let me follow what's written. So she says that information is pre-programmed in high context communication. Can you explain what you mean by pre-programmed information? What do you understand by this? That point to explain what is pre-programmed information. When you talk in a group, your audience knows what you want to talk about, what you're going to talk about. For example, in this classroom, do you think the communication in this classroom today is high context communication or low context? Is this classroom today, is this presentation high context or low context? This is high context communication. Why this is high context? Because we are not presenting one-sidedly. We are questioning you, asking you, listening to you, going around you, inquiring about you. So this presentation is high context presentation. And what we said, the information is pre-programmed. Had I not told you last time that today they will present on this topic, had I not told you read this section, had I told or not? I had told. That means information about the communication was shared beforehand. Information about communication was shared beforehand. तपाईलाई ढोका बाहिर बढी ध्यान छ, टोडरमा ढोका खुला छ, कोही हिँड्छ र बाहिर हिँड्नुहुन्छ, तपाईले के सिक्नु पर्यो? क्लासमा कुनै कुरा पढ्दाखेरि जे कुराको पढाइ भइरहेछ त्यसमा फोकस हुनु पनि सिक्नु पर्यो। यदि तपाईलाई क्लासमा पढाएको कुरामा फोकस हुन सक्नुहुन्न, आउँदैन, मन लाग्दैन र बाहिर प्यासनमा हिँड्ने केटाकेटीलाई हेर्न मन लाग्छ भने तपाईले पढ्न सक्नुहुन्न। तपाईले पढ्न सक्नुहुन्न। तपाईलाई पिर लाग्ला मैले भन्दाखेरि रिस उठ्ला, आई नो। तर पहिलो कुरा के हुन्छ? हामीले पढ्ने क्लासमा के लेखेको छ भित्तामा? चित्त एकाग्रता आत्म साक्षात्कार की कुंजी है भनेर लेखेको थियो। त्यो भने के? इफ यू कन्सन्ट्रेट यू विल अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड। के लेखेको थियो? क्लास 9 लेखेको थियो। इफ यू कन्सन्ट्रेट यू विल understand. So in order to understand what we are saying, one most important requirement is attention, concentration. तपाईं झ्याल बाहिर हेर्ने, ढोका बाहिर हेर्ने, तपाईले मन नलगाउने, बाहिर लगायो भने के गर्ने बुझ्दैन। र हामीसँग पनि हिप्नोटिजम गर्ने जादु छैन। तपाईलाई हामीले हिप्नोटाइज गरेर पढाउन सक्दैनौँ के? उसले बिचारा पढिरहेको छ, नोट लेखेर आएको छ, त्यहाँ सारिरहेछ, सारेर तपाईले सार्नुभयो, उसले पोइन्ट भन्दैछ, उसले बुझाउन सकेन, म बुझाउन खोज्दैछु, सुन्नु पर्यो नि? परेन? उसले बोलाए पनि नसुन्ने, आफै पनि नबुझ्ने, मैले बुझाए पनि नसुन्ने, कहाँ आउँछ? Look what happened in this communication. I scolded you, right? Why did I scold you? Because I felt you are not paying attention. And I said, I had given you, read this chapter, read this section. So the topic of conversation for this class was pre-programmed. It was pre-programmed. Why it was pre-programmed? Because we belong to collectivist culture. In collectivist culture, we have dependent self. We have dependent self. Dependent self means I believe that I cannot do things alone. I must take you with me. Dependent self means I believe that I cannot do things alone. I must take you with me. So to teach you properly, I said you programs. So this classroom is an example of high context communication where the topic was assigned 2 days before to you. Topic was assigned 2 days before to you and you did not read. Go on.
In low context communication, it requires most information to be briefly explained or stated in the message itself.
Okay, look. She says in low context communication, read that point again.
In low context communication, it requires most of the information to be briefly...
Wait. When you as a speaker or when we as a speaker have not informed you, you have no idea, you don't know, I come prepared, I have not told you what topics I will talk about, then you have no idea. Now what is the important? I should tell the points briefly, then only you will be able to catch. I should tell the points briefly, then only you will be able to remember. When communication is individualist, when the speaker is speaking and the people don't know the topic, I should tell clearly, accurately, point-wise, briefly. Because if I tell in detail, you will not be able to memorize, you will not be able to understand. So in individualistic communication, low context communication, information is presented briefly because the audience cannot handle the large amount of information. Yes. Go on.
In low context communication, individualistic culture involves direct verbal interaction, clear expression of intent, and a
Okay,
clear
2 days before, I give example. She said that in low context communication, communication is direct and
with direct interaction and with clear expression.
okay.
And linear logic.
Low context communication is direct. I'll give an example. A week ago on my Facebook post, somebody posted on their wall that Guru Shishya Parampara Ramro Vaina Keko Guru, Keko Shishya, teacher पढाउँछ जान्छ सिद्धियो हामीले टिचरलाई त्यस्तो सम्मान गर्नु पर्दैन. Somebody posted and I said I disagree with you. I said you are American. And then he criticized somebody. He said, "Oh, मान्छे आयो प्रेजेन्ट गर्न 1 घण्टा बोल्यो मलाई निद्रा लाग्यो बोर लाग्यो राम्रो लागेन." He said, and he criticized the speaker. I said, तपाईले जसलाई गाली गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ फेसबुकमा त्यही मान्छेले पनि पढिरा होला, उसलाई कति हर्ट फिल हुन्छ, हामीले अरूको बारेमा सोच्नु पर्दैन गाली गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि. I wrote comment and he realized the point is American people are very direct. If they don't like something, they will directly say I don't like. That friend I am talking about is a Nepali. He is a teacher, but he has been teaching in America. And he has been living in America for last maybe 10, 20 years. So look, as an American culture, he is very direct. He is very direct. If he does not like, he directly says, I don't like. So in low context culture, communication is direct and assertive. People directly express views. In collectivist culture, like Nepali culture, when you disagree, you don't directly say I don't like you. You are modest. Nepali people express disagreement in a soft way. In a soft way. Nepali people, when they do not like something, they don't directly say, "Malai mon pare." Americans will say, "I don't like it." Because American culture is low context communication, which is centered toward the self. Nepali culture is high context communication, which is centered toward the other. Go on.
High context communication found in collectivistic culture relies on direct verbal negotiations of the non-verbal cues.
Wait, you said high context communication relies on indirect verbal negotiation and subtle non-verbal clues. Two things he said. High context communication like Nepal, there is more non-verbal component in communication. Look right now. Look my body posture, just look my hands, how I am using my gesture. There is a lot of non-verbal cue in conversation. Individual cultures have more verbal component. Collectivist cultures have more non-verbal component. For example, if you see two Saudi Arabians, friends talking together, you might feel that they are going to fight. Because Saudi Arabian people, when they talk in public, they make very strong hand gestures and body gestures. Whereas American people do not make that strong body gestures. So body gesture, body posture, facial expression, tone, voice, these are non-verbal components. So collectivist cultures have more non-verbal component, less verbal component, and collectivist cultures are indirect. Whereas individualist cultures have more verbal component, less non-verbal component, and they are direct. I repeat, individualist cultures are direct, collectivist cultures are indirect. Yes.
In conflict situation, low context communicators focus on personal pride, self-esteem, and autonomy.
Look, low context speakers focus on personal self, personal independence, personal autonomy, Americans will focus on their own requirement, their own needs, their own feelings more than other people's needs. Yes.
Whereas in collectivistic culture, they prioritize maintaining group harmony, relational phases, and reciprocal.
If you watch Chinese videos on Facebook, for example, I see primary school videos. Chinese people teach grade 1, 2 children in classroom. What do they teach? They teach to work in group. They teach to work in group. They have such games which you cannot play alone. You must have somebody playing. So do you see, Chinese culture, Asian culture, South Asian culture, Indian culture, Nepalese culture is collectivist culture. And in collectivist culture, family is more important than the person. And in such cultures, we care more about others. We care more about the group. Right? Yes, go on.
Conflicts in low culture often arises from incompatible personalities or goals, whereas in high context culture, they stem from issues related to patchwork and relational management.
In Nepali society, conflict arises because of interrelationship between audience and the speaker. Because ours is collectivist culture. Problem arises from the group. In American culture, problem arises from the person's self. Yes.
The concept of race involves maintaining self-respect and social approval in interaction. Collectivistic cultures are particularly sensitive to the impact of language on social harmony.
So what did she say? In Nepali culture, Chinese culture, Indian culture, we pay very careful attention. बोले भने कसरी सुन्छ के हुन्छ है मलाई बाहिर जो मुख देरा भएर अझ मलाई छोडिराछ मैले ठीक गरे कि वेटिङ गरे कि पिर माने कि रिसाए कि और फिल भयो कि मैले उलाई गरेर सोधे नि आर यु एग्री भने छैन के हो दिस इज कलेक्टिभिस्ट when you do something, speak something and you think यसले अरूलाई के गर्न सक्छ. When you do something, when you say something, you think what it has upon other people. In American culture, you do it, you say it, you don't care, for example, right? Not exactly, but the point is, in collectivist cultures, we are very sensitive about how other people feel about the way we are doing. उनीहरूलाई अब कहाँ बाहिर जाऊ भने पछि फेरि उससँग कुरा गरेँ भन के भयो तिमीले यस्तो किन पढ्न सक्नु बिदा लाग्यो भने उसले अनेस्टली बतायो सरी भने तिमीलाई राम्रो लाग्यो भने लागेको छैन यो के हो केयरिङ अबाउट अदर नभए त मैले के मतलब भने हुन्थ्यो नि हुन्थेन. Did you watch my behavior? I went back to her, I talked to her. किन गरेको? To make her feel okay. To make her feel fine. Yes.
Communication in this culture includes respectful and courteous expression with message rich in meaning but
We'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay, we have done. Give her a big hand. I have recorded your voice. I have tried not to record your face. And this recording goes on Facebook and YouTube. Is it okay? You have to say it okay. Okay, fine. Thank you.